Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'll be reviewing this pre-owned Range Rover Sport SVR. Depreciation has not been kind to this. It is literally going for less than 50% of original MSRP, and it's only 3 years old, and it only has about 30,000 miles on the odometer. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray for giving me some time with this pre-owned SVR. If you happen to be looking for a great deal on a pre-owned SVR, they've got one. Link to their inventory in the description down below. Link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a supercharged 5-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 575 horsepower and then 516 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, the SVR has a carbon fiber hood. So this is painted black, and then this is just the exposed carbon fiber. Really cool look. See the venting there. You've got the Range Rover logo, and this actually has paint protection film on the front end for those of you that are wondering. More carbon fiber down below. You can see that around the venting. And so the front end of this is just incredibly cool, incredibly aggressive. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 285 by 40 by 22 in the front and over in the rear. And we've got massive brakes with the SVR. I love the red brake caliper, blacked out wheels as well. You can see the little fender flares, more carbon fiber there on the mirror caps too. And even though this is the previous gen body style, it's still such a good looking SUV. And this leads us to the key fob. So you've got the normal Land Rover key fob, but then it has SV there on the back, which is pretty cool, and we'll pop open the hatch. Now, being a Sport, we've got quite a bit of storage space here in the rear. You've got the car cover built in from the factory. You can raise and lower the suspension with this because it's got air suspension. But yeah, it's definitely a nice place to be there on the back. When you're all done, you just press that and that'll lower the hatch right back down. Love the taillights on this generation of Sport. I think it looks really sharp. And just the overall silhouette. I think this is probably going to go down as one of the best looking Range Rover designs of all time. But there's the exterior. Now inside, things definitely get crazy. So really nice leather trim throughout, which is really cool. Love the door handle actuation. And then look at these seats. Super aggressive bucket type seats, even for the back passengers. And don't worry, the back passengers get their own climate zone, all of that fun stuff. But then if we pop up front, things get even crazier. So again, same luxurious trim all over the door panel. And you got these leather bucket seats. Power adjustments there on the side. You can see the pedals too. And look at this nice trim all over the dash. And starting it up, definitely sounds angry. Got that full digital gauge cluster there. So even though this is a 3-year-old car, it's still very modern feeling. Got paddle shifters there on the back, which is really cool. You can see SVR down below. I like the stitching around the airbag cover too. I think that's neat. And then this does have a 360 camera system. There's just the backup view with it. Now this has the Range Rover double screen situation. So you've got this top screen, which is like the infotainment system. This bottom one's like the drive mode, climate control side of things. And you got a bunch of different drive modes for both off-road and on-road use, as if anyone would ever take an SVR off-road. Maybe they would, who knows on that. And then see a little storage there. I like this version of the Range Rover shifter, very nice looking. And then this was when we had the drive mode select dial that you could push up and down, and then physical buttons for the air suspension as well. And then I think this one has the, yeah, it's got a cool box. So that's pretty neat. Look at that trim there. And then of course got the double glove box. So you got the top one, got the bottom one. It says SVR at the end of the dash. It's kind of hard to see though. And then we do have a panoramic sunroof up top. But the big thing is when you look at the original MSRP. So this one has the original window sticker here. So Range Rover Sport SVR. And you can see this one had quite a few options added to it, which, I mean, 115 base MSRP, and then after all options, this was $142,045. And now with 34,000 miles on it, it's going for like 70 grand roughly. So 50% in 3 years and 30,000 miles. Let's drive it. Let us set off in the SVR, and I have a possibly controversial opinion. But I think when you look at the money, I think it'll make sense. Also, I need to get this synced up with the climb. Actually, figure it out in a second. Or actually, I'll just do it this way. We'll just do it manually. There we go. Don't worry, I don't feel like dealing with the Land Rover computers and syncing the rear end. I'll just turn it down manually. I will say this is pretty interesting that this has depreciated this much. I know some people say, oh, it's a Land Rover, makes sense, but like, you know, you look at the SVR and like, this is a special car. Supercharged V8, 5-liter. It's got almost 600 horsepower. It's got carbon fiber, and you know, yeah, this does have some, you know, tech that could be expensive to replace because it's a Land Rover, but I mean, this is really not that much more than like just a regular sport with a V8. It's crazy how the SVRs seem to depreciate at a more rapid rate compared to a regular Range Rover Sport. But initially setting off, that sounds so good. I forgot how cool this car is. Man, this is fun. Now, it's not quite as luxe as the new Range Rover Sport. The new Range Rover Sport's kind of similar to the previous gen full size in terms of how floaty and comfortable it is. And so then this is kind of like below that, but it's really nice. It still has air suspension, still has a nice ride quality, even though it has huge wheels, not a lot of sidewall on the tires. And it has such a beautiful engine. It's very smooth. Again, supercharged V8, so you're gonna get low end power. And it just sounds so good. I'm gonna pop it into dynamic here. It's gonna make things a little bit more aggressive. Now this particular one, I will say the previous owner did a really good job with just taking care of it. You know, some people, they take care of the cars a little bit better than others, and this one you can tell it was taken care of well over the 34,000 miles of ownership. I mean, it basically looks brand new in here. Which is crazy. You're getting a $140,000 car for half off. You know, 34,000 miles, not that much. I mean, I think this would still be, it depends on when this car is bought, but it still has some manufacturer warranty left. If the time hasn't expired, because the mileage is at 50,000 miles that this warranty would expire. Gosh, it sounds so good. This is super luxurious. Like, these bucket seats are actually more comfortable than you'd think, given the aggressiveness of them. I really do love the sound. Yeah, not too bad over train tracks. It is firm, but it ain't bad. Ooh, this thing will rip your head off. This thing will rip your head off. Man, is this a cool car. Pop it into the manual mode. Listen to that. Just let me make sure no one's behind me. Okay. Listen to that. Oh, that is good. That is good. That's what you need in the morning. Supercharged V8. Just, like I said, ripping your head off. Such a beautiful car. So here's my controversial opinion. I think that with current, you know, used car prices, this is a much better buy than a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and tell me they want me to review a Trackhawk for this series of depreciated cars, and I will. But the problem with the Trackhawks I've seen is they're so expensive because, you know, people are paying for the limited edition part of that car, right? They didn't build that many Trackhawks. They're never going to build another one again. And so it's like, you want a 700 horsepower supercharged V8 Jeep. That's it, right? That is it. This is enough performance. This is enough power. Great engine. And this is less money than a used Trackhawk. And this is way more car when it comes to luxury. Like, a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk is still a Jeep Grand Cherokee at the end of the day. So it drives like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, whereas this has Range Rover driving dynamics, which are so much better. And the interior is nice. Everything's just nicer. It's just a nicer car. And it's less money because, I'm not saying Range Rovers aren't desirable, but used Range Rovers, right? People aren't really going out and, you know, buying them all that much. Depends on the year, depends on the mileage and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just gonna, you know, have bigger depreciation, which is good, is benefit for everyone. So I think that if I was gonna buy a, you know, and this is about the same size as the Grand Cherokee too, if I was gonna buy a supercharged V8 SUV, I'd rather get this. Plus, you know, this, again, if it's within the year for the warranty, this still has warranty, whereas a Trackhawk at this point, you're gonna have no warranty on that. So, I don't know. I'd rather get a car that's a few years newer, warranty, and I don't know, this is cool. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me on that. And it'll be interesting to see how these do like long term. Like there's got to be a bottom for an SVR. At least I think, right? There's got to be a bottom for this where it gets to the point where it's just so inexpensive that it's like people can't pass it up. But maybe I'm wrong on that. By the way, let me know what you think about the SVR. Let me know what you think about this compared to the Trackhawk.